Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here. The following graphic novel monthly was shot in two parts. One part was earlier this month, the other part right now at the end. Because some of the books that I was planning to review in this were going to be put into storage. Basically, the reason I do that is because my bookshelf isn't really big enough to hold all of my graphic novels, so I put some in storage just to keep them safe and stuff. So that's the reason why I had to shoot this in two parts. Was that some of the books I was planning on putting into storage immediately, another part, and in this part, and I wait to shoot the second part because some of them I ordered from eBay and stuff, and I was waiting for eBay and Amazon. I was waiting for them to come in. So please still continue to enjoy this GN. Still, I hope you enjoy this GN monthly. Sorry for any inconvenience or inconsistencies when shooting this. Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's time for GN Monthly for the month of October 2012. Okay, first off, in case you're wondering, GN Monthly, again, my monthly review show of graphic novels I've read this month. Okay, first off from Dark Horse, Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, Season 8, Volume 2. This pretty much collects issues 11 through 20 of the Buffy Season 8 series. Two story arcs in this. First off, Buffy gets the Slayer's scythe stolen. You know, the one from like Season 7, which was a big deal, and it's all powerful and it helped Willow create Slayers around the world. Well, it's stolen by a couple of vampires who have the ability to like transform to wolves and bats and mist, and the only other vampire known who has those abilities is Dracula. So that leads to an awkward union between Drac and Xander. And the second story arc in this is Buffy is transported into the future where she meets a future Slayer named Michaela Frey. Except it's not really a future Buffy was expecting. Both story arcs were very nice. I did like the return of Dracula. That was pretty great. Also, apparently about what we learned about what happened with Drac and Xander. And also I should say this too, but there are like several one-shots in this book. Usually after they do like usually the way the Buffy series are compiled for like comics, the way they're done for like Dark Horse and stuff, and they have like a big story arc that's 4 parts, which usually runs for 4 issues. Then in between the next 4-part story arc, they have one little one-shot just to like, give you a break from the usual big part story arcs. So, and again, more hints to Twilight are in this, but let's face it, we already know who he is because of the internet. I would say if you did get Season 1, if you got Volume 1, then I'd say you should get Volume 2 just to keep going. It's a very interesting story. Oh, also, I forgot to mention there is another one-shot in this featuring Willow. So, if you're a Willow fan, you'll love it. Buffy another thing though, again, I get the library editions because basically they're more convenient. You get more issues in it. And there's only going to be 4, so halfway through Season 8. The next one's supposed to come out in December. Then after that, I think it might come out in January or February. I'll have to double check when the last volume comes out. But still, I'm enjoying Season 8. It's very nice. Very creative. If you love Buffy, you should definitely check this out. Okay, next up, Marvel, Daredevil Volume 3. Alright, this one collects the story. This one is pretty much closes the case on the Omega Drive. This is pretty much the last story of Daredevil that features the Omega Drive, and it does collect the crossover Daredevil had with the Punisher and Avenging Spider-Man in this too. So if you missed the Omega Effect, good news, it's reprinted in here. And also there's the story arc where Daredevil got captured by Doom's men and sent to Latveria. And pretty much with this, I'm officially caught up on Daredevil. So I'm very happy that I got this because now I'm all caught up. It collects Daredevil. It collects Daredevil issues 11 through 15, and I started reading the series monthly with issue 16. So I'm really glad that I read this because now I'm all caught up, and now I don't have to worry about buying any more Daredevil hardcovers because I'm getting the series monthly. And again, if you have been reading if you read the last 2 volumes of Daredevil, then you are going to like this because everything that involves the Omega Drive is sort of put to rest with this. Okay, moving along. Alright, now it's time for DC. And it's Batman Nightfall Part 3. This is the reprinted edition. This is the conclusion to the Nightfall story arc, but the third part to the Nightfall story arc called Night's End. It's basically Batman return after some training with Lady Shiva and like all these other kung fu masters. He's able to get back in the game, and he fights Jean-Paul Valley for the Batman mantle with the help of Nightwing and Robin. Although after that, Bruce doesn't immediately go back to being Batman. Instead, he lets Dick Grayson take over as Batman while he thinks of like new ways to like do his operation, because after Bruce defeats Jean-Paul Valley, he's like, okay, you know what, things need to change now because I can't let something like this ever happen again. So he goes off to do his own thing while he leaves the scene in the care of Dick Grayson. And that's one of the things I like about this new edition is that it not only reprints Night's End, but it also reprints the Prodigal story arc, which was when Dick Grayson filled in for Batman for the first time. And I know there is a trade paperback featuring Prodigal, but when I went to look for it online several times, it was like some people were charging very outrageous prices for it because it was like $100 or $150. That was messed up. But good news is it's reprinted in this. And this is only like $17 on Amazon. So I got Night's End and Prodigal all in one book, which I'm very happy about. And also, if you have read and I would definitely recommend you read the Nightfall trilogy because it is a great story arc. I already read volumes 1 through 2, so the third, very awesome, nice, and it's a very nice ending too. Okay, here's the second half of GN Monthly. First, most of these books I ordered on, again, the books that I just talked about, they're put into storage. In this case, now these books are ones that I ordered online, and some of them didn't arrive till like maybe later this month, and now I got the chance to read them, and now I'm going to talk about them. Okay, so starting off, Robin Unmasked. This is the story arc where Tim Drake's father, Jack Drake, discovers that his son is Robin. And when he discovers this, he immediately goes to Wayne Manor, and he confronts Alfred and Bruce Wayne, and he tells them that he's going to blow their entire secrets. He's going to tell everyone in the media about that Bruce Wayne's Batman. And then when Tim Drake gets back to the cave and he discovers all this, he talks to his dad, calms him down, and they make a deal. Jack doesn't expose the secrets of Batman as long as Tim quits being Robin. And that's pretty much where this book ends, is with Tim saying that he's quitting being Robin. And of course, as anyone knows, this is only temporary because Tim does get back into the Robin role, but ultimately Jack Drake does die. But I think it's a very good story because I think that was always something interesting about Tim. Whereas Dick Grayson and Jason Todd and Bruce Wayne, their parents died, but Tim's were still alive, and that was kind of something that Tim had to live with, that all the other Robins didn't have to deal with, was that he had to lie to his parents in order to help save the world. And now that the secret's out, Tim decides to honor his father's wishes, try to respect his father, and just not be Robin anymore, just to keep everyone safe. And when I say everyone, I don't just mean his parents from getting killed, but also Bruce's secrets as well. And also we know that this is only temporary because Tim does become Robin again, which happens during Batman War Games, which was the story arc where Stephanie Brown, Tim's successor, dies, and then Tim gets back into the game and he becomes Robin again with, I think which his father is okay with. So this is actually a very good story. I mean, it's pretty much, it does kind of and during this issue, Tim is kind of on the fence about whether he wants to continue or not as Robin, because he's starting to enter high school and he starts to think about his future and stuff. And while this is going on, Jack does discover everything. So it's a very sort of coming of age story for Tim. I would definitely recommend this to Tim Drake fans. And after reading this, though, it did encourage me to sort of go and read War Games now, because I want to know how Tim got back into being Robin and stuff. So I'd say, yeah, Tim Drake fans, you would definitely enjoy this graphic novel. Okay, time for some New 52 graphic novels, starting with Green Arrow Volume 1, The Midas Touch. Basically, this is pretty much the first story arc with Green Arrow, and he deals with various villains. There were a bunch of metahumans who were just going around online, causing a lot of havoc and chaos just so they could get online fame. And also there's an assassin who was sent after Oliver Queen that Green Arrow has to deal with. I'll be honest, I mainly wanted to read I really started to get into Green Arrow stuff because of the new CW show Arrow, but Midas Touch, it really didn't wow me at all. It was just, it felt like it wasn't terrible, but at the same time, it really didn't encourage me to read the rest of Green Arrow. So I don't know. I think if I want to read any more Green Arrow stuff, so I'll stick to what happened before the relaunch. It really didn't do much for me. It didn't wow me, but at the same time, it just didn't. It wasn't terrible. So I'd say at best it's like an average read, or yeah, that's as best I can describe it. All right, now for something that I wasn't expecting this month, because I ordered this book with two other books that were going to come out in November. And so when it came this month, I was very happy. It's Nightwing Volume 1. And of course I'm wearing my Nightwing shirt because of this. Yeah, basically this is the first volume of the New 52 series Nightwing. When it first came out, everyone who read it had a bunch of positive reviews about it. I didn't read it single issue wise when it came out because, well, I felt like I was getting enough DC Comics and everything. But then when people started talking about it, saying it was awesome, I decided to read some. And I started last month with issue 0, and now I'm starting to read it, and it is pretty awesome. But if you haven't read it, I would definitely recommend the first volume because it is awesome. Dick Grayson is back in Gotham. He's back to being Nightwing, and he also inherits Haley's circus. And when he starts running it, he gets attacked by an assassin called let me check to see what his name is. Seiko. Yeah, he gets attacked by Seiko, and also this leads him to discover a deep dark secret. Dark mystery surrounding Haley's Circuit, which all ties into the Court of Owls story arc, which took place in Batman. And also this issue ends with the same exact scene from Batman issue 7, I believe, where Batman tells Dick Grayson that he was a Talon, and that he was meant to be a Talon, and that soon, eventually, Dick would have been the Court of Owls' next assassin. So, it starts off with a Dick pretty much being a Nightwing story that eventually does tie into the Court of Owls. And it was amazing. I really loved this story. I mean, it got to the heart and soul of Dick. I would say it really got to the heart and soul of Dick Grayson by dealing with any issues he had with Hayley Circus and stuff. I mean, this was very well written, very nice, and definitely and a very nice tie into the Court of Owls, which I hope they reprint in the next volume of this, because I'll probably get the next volume, Volume 2, and by then, I think that should catch me up with all of the Nightwing issues, because I am reading the ongoing currently right now, so. Still, Nightwing is very nice. I would highly recommend it. And in between the two trades I read this month from New 52, I would say Nightwing good, Green Arrow, just. So, that's it for GN Monthly. Sorry for the inconvenience of filming this in like 2 different time periods and then slapping it together. I promise that this probably won't happen again, but who knows what the future has. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and staying subscribed. Spider-Man 1991 saying see you later.